start so everyone has it again, can you just say and spell first and last?
I'm Gregg Hardy, Gregghardy, and I'm Dee's brother. And it's a happier day today, right?
So how are you feeling after hearing the sentence?
Relieved. It is something we've been working for 5 years. I thought the judge did a tremendous job of analyzing the information and professionally delivering it on the record. A great job by the judge.
How did it feel saying your piece to Dale?
Well, there's plenty more I'd like to say. Tried to condense it down to the important things, at least for me. It was awfully difficult for all these years to listen to this continued lie, and his personality reflects and his actions reflect the fact that he's exactly what I called him, a narcissistic psychopath. And even apparently his attorneys followed that same process. You can talk about legal defense if you'd like, but it's somewhere there should be some ethics. And we seem not to be able to do that anymore. So if you want to sell your soul, I guess you could be a defense attorney.
What do you say to Dale right now that's watching his jail cell?
You deserve more. The idea of absolutely no remorse, no emotion of remorse, no indication whatsoever of sorrow by either he or his family is absolutely criminal in itself. That's unacceptable for a human being. And so, as I mentioned, his act of entombing her was a non-human act. It truly was. It appears we don't seem to want to put his. I think the judge put all the emphasis he could, but as a society, we should not accept that. It's just not enough.
And the judge had stopped you in there a little bit, saying some stuff you can't say. Is there anything you can tell us that you couldn't say in the courtroom?
Well, I got it out. I mean, you can't take a word back, right? I think the part he stopped me about was I called Dale a piece of human debris, which I've done before publicly, and that's because it fits perfectly. Okay, I mean, that's just what fits. So, but the judge did take a technical issue to that I was addressing Dale instead of the court, and that's fine.
What was it like to watch him while the sentencing was being said, while the victim impact statements were being said? Did you notice any emotion on his face at all?
Watching him is like watching a still shot. It never changes. He has no emotion. There's nothing that impacts this guy except himself. And that tells the story. I mean, it's kind of interesting. You don't have to have anybody else bring the evidence forward. He tells the story himself. And and that's been his MO from the first day after she went missing.
Any reaction?
Sorry.
Any reaction to the judge assigning consecutive sentences instead of concurrent? So he's got to do one, then the other instead of.
My reaction, you mean? Good job, Judge. That's my reaction, and it should be that way. There's nothing about her death that should be reoccurring that way. I mean, that's crazy. So I thought the judge analyzed that, reviewed the facts of law, and did a great job of communicating that on the record and to the public.
This is the first I'm hearing this, but the vandalism you're accusing Dale of to your family's property. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, Dale's a vindictive person. It's pretty obvious. That's one of the traits of a narcissistic psychopath. And so what he tried to do to start with, and I don't want to make this too long for you, but it's important to understand where we got to from there. When we started, he was trying to convince everybody that she was the bad person, she left him, and it was poor Dale, okay? In fact, his first statement to me on Monday morning after she was found missing on Sunday, when he came voluntarily to my office to speak to me, was, quote, "She left me in a hell of a mess." That's a guy who killed his wife hours before and had that kind of a statement to make. So what he did, he tried to play me. He tried to get me to be on his side. He tried to get me, he really thought he could get me to be against my sister because my sister and I would spar. And he thought he would play on that. And so eventually he figured out that wasn't working. So then he goes to the next step for a guy of his mentality. That's intimidation. So he starts out doing what, by the way, this isn't the first time he's done that thing to other people. He's done that to other neighbors. When he was in a dispute with them and couldn't impact them, he would go behind their back and do those kinds of vengeance things. So he started with us, doing things that he could get away with. He knew they were damaging. He was a farmer, right? So he'd do these little things like cutting round bales. Did that twice. Drove a stake, a long stake, out in one of our fields that we were mowing. So the equipment, when it hit it, would destroy it. He knew how to do these kinds of things, which were all vengeance activities. And then, of course, the largest one is and let's be perfectly clear. I've never proven this, but it's my opinion. The arson that took place at our dairy, the circumstances around it, which are in detail, I won't share all with you now, but it was very specific that this was arson. And there's no one else who had any kind of a motive whatsoever to do that. And he knew exactly how to do it, where to do it, and what damage it would cause. So those are the things, and they were done all out of intimidation. He wanted to stop me from hunting him down.
When did that fire happen?
That was in July of 24.
So right about the time the body was found.
No, before the body was
Before.
found. Before he was actually arrested the first time. So I got to check my
That would be
dates.
23 then.
Yes, that would be right. Yes, thank you. But listen, the heat was on, right? I mean, we'd been putting a lot of pressure on authorities. There was no secret about that. And some people, I guess, probably thought I was too tough on him. But I'm not going to apologize. I write more about it in my book.
So a couple of weeks ago was the 5-year anniversary of Dee's disappearance.
Yes.
April 24th. Did you think you would ever get to this point when that happened? I mean,
That's an interesting question. I don't want to sound egotistical about this, but the answer is yes. I thought we would get to the point because I wasn't stopping. I mean, I guess if you're dead, you stop, right? But other than that, I was not stopping. There was too much information. There was too much evidence. It was a matter of getting the system to utilize the evidence to get this criminal.
Can you tell us a little bit about your sister?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell us a little bit about Dee?
Yeah, I mean, you could ask so many people that would talk about Dee because she really, really wanted everybody to be her best friend. She really did. And my relationship with Dee was, she was this gregarious, lighthearted. She wanted to spar with me all the time, and in a good way, sometimes in a bad way, but generally it was a good way. We highly respected each other, but we were competitive people in a competitive business. So, but I liken her to I had an uncle that was a very wonderful guy, and I called what I considered his best friend after my uncle passed, and he called me, I should say, and he said his name, and he said, "You remember me?" I said, "Well, of course I remember. You were my uncle's best friend." He said, "No." His comment was very similar. He was everybody's best friend, and that's kind of like Dee. She was everybody's best friend, and she practiced that.
What does healing look like now that the verdict is in? Can you move on? Like how do you move on?
Well, it's a big relief because what is most troubling to people is the unknown, right? And so till today, it still was an unknown, and we knew that this mercenary law firm, Mary Chartier, who was doing everything to twist and spin the facts. You can say, well, it's doing her job, okay? But listen, after all the evidence, you're still spinning, okay? I mean, that really is a little bit hard for me to absorb. So it was still an unknown. And to answer your question, it's very relieving to know we have a absolute known. You had enough of me yet?
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen, by the way, I've said it before, I'll say it every time I get a chance. You guys in the press, or you ladies in the press, get maligned so many times nowadays, and you've been a wonderful help. Sorry. In this case, I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.